Welcome in once again, everybody, to what's going to be an extraordinary edition of the 19th Hole Podcast for Golfers. I'm your host, Dennis Silvers, and we've got a different kind of show today. We're not going to be talking about golf. We're going to be talking about baseball, and as you know, there are some things in the baseball swing that you can relate to the golf swing, believe it or not. But we're going to be talking about a sensational book and a movie that's going to be coming to a theater near you pretty soon. I'm surrounded by these two gentlemen, and let me tell you a little bit about the gentleman to my right, who is the author of this book, okay, Old Timers Day, and we'll tell you where to get it. Highly suggest you get it for your library. And not only is it about baseball, but it is a faith-based book as well. Richard Lepresto, the gentleman to my right, is the author of this book, Old Timers Day, which is being made into a movie which is right now in development. He is considered a baseball aficionado by not only his friends, but by baseball enthusiasts all around the country. Richard, in fact, has a show business background that includes writing and producing. He produced the last television show produced on the stage of the iconic Stardust Hotel right here in Las Vegas. So we are happy to have everybody here in studio, and we're really going to get into it. Richard, thanks for coming on the show.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Dennis.
Hey, my pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Let's start off with the obvious. What prompted you to write this book? Give us a little background on it.
Okay. I was born and raised Roman Catholic, and a very good lady friend of mine, named Mary, she invited me to come to a Christian church. It was Central Church out in Henderson, Nevada. And I went to it. I said, sure, Mary, I'll go check it out. And I went to the service the first time, and it was the most joyful service I ever went to. It was an amazing experience for me, and I wanted to go back and see it one more time before I gave my life to Christ. And I went a second time, and I gave my life to the Lord. And then he spoke to me while I was sitting there with Mary and her family, and he asked me to write this story, and I'm thinking while he's giving me all the things to write down, I'm in church, so I can't write anything down.
Right.
So as I said to Mary, as the service ended, I said, God asked me to write this story, I said, and I had never had God ask me to do anything for everything he's done in my life for me, including be alive today. So she looked at me and said, I guess you better write it then.
Yeah.
So the story took me 7 years to write. And I finished it while I was in a wheelchair. I was hurt real bad, both my legs. And now I can walk and train and go to the gym. I don't need any training help at all. I can do it all on my own, albeit I do limp a little bit. But we got the book accomplished with the help of my mentor and my best friend. And the closest thing I ever had to a father was named Jerry Schaefer. And
Now,
that's the story behind it.
Mr. Schaefer passed away a couple of years
Yes, he
ago.
did.
Tell
Yes,
us a little bit about Jerry, because he actually co-wrote the book with you, if I'm not mistaken.
He did.
Yeah.
He co-wrote it. He cleaned up all my notes, and at the end of it, and he helped me because I had never written anything since college. It was the first thing of this magnitude that I ever wrote.
Yeah.
But as soon as I gave him my notes, he goes, "This has to be made into a motion picture, you know." And I said, sure. I said, I hope you'll help me do it, because the motion picture is a huge undertaking.
Huge.
And
Oh, yeah.
so he says, I'll teach you. He became even a closer friend and a mentor for probably the last 5 years of his life. And I'm just so grateful to everything he did for this country, as well as for the state of Nevada. He did a lot of things from Mothers Against Drunk Driving and documentaries, and he did a lot of boxing matches. And he was just a hero to our great country.
Yeah.
He was a hero, him and his wife.
That is awesome. Before I forget, tell all of our viewers all over that are watching, where can they get a copy of this, Richard?
Okay. This book is for sale on Amazon. And there'll also be some promotional videos as well for it on YouTube. You can order it through the links on YouTube and through, we have a huge Facebook page. We have 50,000 plus followers on Instagram already, and I haven't even tried to promote the book really.
Yeah.
So we're going to get.
And you'll get a lot more.
I think you're right, thanks to you and people who have been so good to us, because this project is definitely doesn't belong to me or Jimmy. It belongs to the Lord.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
so
as
we
I
know
mentioned, the movie is in development, and as you know, there's a tremendous amount of work that goes into it. So these guys are always putting stuff together, meeting with people, and you know how it goes. You've got to secure funding, you've got to secure a location, and you've got to secure the people that are going to be in the movie, obviously. So that takes a little while. Speaking of that, you guys are doing a tour across country. I've got 2 sheets. Look at this, folks. If I could get the thing. I've got 2 sheets of places that these folks are going to go to promote the movie, primarily minor league ballparks, churches. I mean, you guys are doing more touring than the Beatles, for crying out
Kid
loud.
Rock, more touring Kid Rock.
I mean, it is incredible. It's supposed to start in Glendale, Arizona, okay? And they're finishing, I believe, in Kansas City.
Yep, at the Negro League
in Kansas
Museum.
City, at the Negro League Hall of Fame, which is absolutely awesome. I mean, that is quite an undertaking.
It definitely is, and with God's help, we'll get the casting call done. It's actually a casting call. We're going to cast 100 lookalikes for all the baseball players, managers, announcers. We're going to do a casting call for the movie while we travel because we need 100 people plus to do the movie, and we can't afford to pay 100 people.
No.
So we're going to cast lookalikes that look like all the ball players in the movie. So that's going to help build a buzz around the project as well.
Oh, gotcha. Now, if you haven't gotten this by now, this movie essentially is going to be what it is basically is Satan has his own ball team and they're playing against the good guys. Am I right? That's a short way to describe it.
That's right.
Okay.
That's correct.
So you're going to have to read the book and get the book and find out what happens or watch for the movie, but it's very, very unique. And as I mentioned to you guys before, there are millions of people that absolutely love baseball, America's sport, and there are millions of people that are very spiritual. So when you put the two together, Jimmy, you got a home run. Excuse the expression.
Exactly.
Now, Jimmy V is the gentleman who wrote the screenplay for this.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, my mother had passed 2 years ago, and I had to resign from my employment where I met Richard, and we worked together for over 10 years. And she told me before, why don't you get back into writing? Mm-hmm. So when I got back to Vegas, and I called Richard the first day I was back, and I thought he would already have the screenplay done and this and that, but the 2 copies that he had done, he wasn't pleased with, so he gave me a chance to rewrite it for him. And it took me about 3 months, and we both really enjoyed what I put on the paper, or what God put on the paper for us. So, you know, we're trying to get that script out there to people.
Yeah.
Because once they read
Were you
it,
very critical of the screenplay?
No, actually, I have so much respect for Jimmy because he's so intelligent and so talented. I knew it was going to be good when I asked him to write it because, you know, it's strange about this project is like nothing else I've ever done. It's like I knew that he was supposed to be the gentleman to write the screenplay, and the screenplay far exceeded my expectations. I was so surprised, but then again, I probably shouldn't have been surprised because the good Lord helped him write a brilliant, brilliant screenplay and a soundtrack, and Just everything about it is perfect. Obviously, there's going to be changes in the screenplay, of course, as we get through it, but 99% of it is going to remain the same.
Well, yeah, you got to refine it a little bit as you go. That everybody does that.
100%.
Everybody does that, but that is absolutely incredible. All right, so I know the people at home looking at this are wondering, okay, Dennis, what is the message that I'm supposed to get from this movie when it's done? What is the message? What do you want people to come away with?
The message is the power of love will always defeat the love of power in our world. And sometimes it's a tenuous battle, but we know that good wins in the end. So we're going to shoot 2 alternate endings for the movie because we don't want anybody to know what the ending is going to be.
Oh, that's great.
So, but that's the message of the movie. The power of love will always defeat the love of power, no matter how huge the odds are.
That is great. Now, let me ask you this, Jimmy. Do the people that you are going to get for the movie that are going to be the baseball players, do they have to chew tobacco and spit sunflower seeds?
I don't know. If their characters did during their career, they would have to, emulate what they do.
Only the girls have to shoot tobacco, right, Jimmy?
Yeah, there you go. Oh, my gosh. Now, before we take our first break, can you see this? This thing is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It is a baseball that Richard had made, I believe, in China.
Yes, we did.
If I'm not mistaken. Tell us about that.
This is something else, too, that's
absolutely beautiful.
It's really amazing that I didn't even think of these baseball things. And then while I was training, I thought to myself, wow, this project needs some kind of merchandising and things that.
Oh, yeah.
So I said to myself, a ball would be really cool because especially as the movie gets closer, we can sell these all over the world.
Totally.
Baseball is such a global sport now that we sell baseballs and we've produced hats and jerseys and other memorabilia that'll be sold all over the country. But this ball just kind of happened on its own, and on it, it says on it, "Oh yes, there is baseball in heaven." And it's got the score of the first 3 innings of the actual game that takes place within the story.
Within the story.
Yeah.
It's got Ebbets Field on it, and it's got a picture. Where is it? It's got a picture of Satan, and it's got a picture of the good guy on the other side. And I mean, the colors are phenomenal. I think people would buy these in a heartbeat and just hold on to them as a great souvenir. Speaking of jerseys, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to step away. We're going to take a short break here on the 19th Hole Podcast for golfers, but we're talking baseball today. When we return, I'm going to show those jerseys to you, so stay right there. We are back right after this. The revolutionary Power to Golf Club is helping golfers around the world continue to enjoy the greatest game of all. This amazing club requires no swing to hit shots from 50 up to 225 yards. That's right, no swing to hit shots, including fades, draws, low shots, as well as high ones. One incredible club does it all. Golfers with a wide variety of physical issues, including bad backs, hips, shoulders, and more, are now back in the game golfing with friends and family. Just set the club to the desired distance, and with a push of the button, the easy-to-use Power to Golf Club launches shots down the fairway and onto the green. The Power to Golf Club has been endorsed by some of the biggest names in golf, and the number of golfers enjoying the game by use of our unique technology continues to grow. Whether a physical issue or just want to join in on the fun, the Power to Golf Club is for you. Don't be left on the sidelines. Get back in the game today. Visit at powergolfclub.com.
As golfers, we want instant gratification when it comes to a better golf swing and playing better golf. Impossible, you say? Not anymore. Golf Boost Artificial Intelligence (AI) has developed and patented the most advanced swing analysis technology in golf. Simply, the algorithms detect your body position and then analyze your golf swing using their artificial intelligence technology. The AI captures all the relevant data from your swing video and then presents you a personalized lesson. Golf Boost AI is the ultimate swing analysis and virtual instruction system for golfers of all ages and abilities. This sophisticated software takes into consideration your height and build, playing level, and returns the ideal solution for your swing. Bottom line, Golf Boost AI is an incredibly convenient and cost-effective tool for golfers to improve their swing. Go to golfboost.com and check it out. The app is free to download and try. Visit golfboost.com today.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to more of the 19th Hole podcast for golfers. But today we've got a special show. We are talking baseball. We are talking Old Timers Day. And we have a new gentleman that is sitting where Jimmy did. This is Mr. Dave White. He is the executive producer of this movie. Welcome, man.
Thank you, Dennis.
Oh,
Thank
my
you for having
pleasure.
us.
All right, what's your role going to be? How excited are you? What's your plans for the movie? Where do you want it to go?
Well, I feel like I'm the luckiest person on this whole project because, in a baseball analogy, they were already rounding third base. Then they asked me to pinch run. So they did all the legwork.
Yeah.
They did all the hard work. I've made some phone calls. I put them in touch with some people. I'm basically the guy who's raising the money for the movie. So I know some people living here in Vegas where everything can happen and there's all possibilities are here in town.
Yeah.
And I know some people that got some pretty strong Rolodexes. We've been on the phone, we've been in meetings, and it's like you said, it takes a lot to make a movie.
What
it
it's
takes
about.
a lot. But so far, everybody we've talked to, everybody we've been in touch with, they're excited. Because I think the country needs a positive message right now.
Without
Everything's
a
so
doubt.
divisive, and the book that Richard wrote. If you buy one book this year, this is the book to buy.
This is the book.
You know,
Old Timers Day. Anyway, I promised you to bring up some jerseys, and I want you to explain, Richard, what this is all about. This says Sin City, and of course, Las Vegas is known as Sin City. And on the back, it's got number 34 Express. So how did this jersey come about?
Okay. It's interesting. In the book, God's team is called the Central Christian Angels. And Satan's team is just called the Old Timers in the book. In the movie, something it's just amazing, as strange as it sounds. I was thinking I wanted to change the names of the teams for the movie. Something just told me to change them. And I just came up with both team names because I had, many years ago, I thought the Neon Kings would be something I'd want to copyright because I thought maybe we'd get some sports teams here years later. Mm-hmm. So I always kept the Las Vegas Neon Kings on the side, and I even have the website for them in case somebody wants to name a team that or get a website.
Yeah.
And then I thought of God's team. I just thought, what would be a great name from? And Sin City Angels just came right out at me. And I told Jimmy, the screenwriter, he goes, those are great names.
Yeah, that is a terrific name.
So we just kind of, it's all glory to God because he just gives us the important stuff. He doesn't give us everything, but he gives us the important stuff. That jersey is for Nolan Ryan. He's the starting pitcher for God's team. That's why it says...
how about that? Great color. And how about that? Nolan Ryan, a.k.a. the Rocket Man, and that's what it says right on the back.
That's for Roger Clemens. He's pitching.
Yeah, Neon Kings. Fantastic.
Thank you very much.
And I imagine you're going to be producing these, and it's going to go out with your other merchandise that people will be able to purchase.
Absolutely. We'll be selling them shortly. Our website is almost fully functional.
Okay.
It's up there. So oldtimersday.com, if you have time to go visit it. It's called oldtimersday.com. It's the same name as the movie and the book.
Now, on that, you'll have to forgive me for not knowing. Can you see, and you sent me a phenomenal promo for the movie. Unfortunately, it's a little bit too long for the show, but can you see the promos on the website?
Yes, yeah, and the promos
gotta
are on
do it.
YouTube as well. The promos are on YouTube as well, and they're on social media. So if you go to our Instagram or our Facebook page,
You gotta do
can
it.
go there. Absolutely, and we hope you visit all our social media platforms. And
Yeah, absolutely. Dave, you've been involved in sports for a long time. Where does baseball stand in your?
Well, it's my favorite
That's tough.
sport by
Okay.
far. It's the one sport I started playing when I was 8 years old. I was lucky when I was 10. Well, I'm from Detroit originally. The Tigers won the World Series.
Yeah.
It was a big event in my life, and
Oh, yeah.
I went to a lot of games with my dad because he was a grocery store manager, and all the vendors, if they wanted his business, they would give him tickets. So we always went. You know, my dad would do anything that didn't cost him any money. So we went to a lot of baseball games.
Smart guy.
Yeah, well,
Sounds
yeah.
familiar.
We had a big family. I'm the oldest of 8. All the boys played baseball. All the girls played softball. So
I didn't know your family was that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oldest of 8. Wow.
yeah, no cable back then, Dennis. You know? So yeah, we were always at the ballpark, and
That's great.
We love it. I just love baseball.
I was that brings me to my next question. What is there about America's game, about baseball, that people are fascinated with? Why they fall in love with it?
Well-
because some people say, it's too slow, it's boring, and blah, 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 blah. What is there about it?
Well, one thing about baseball, it's better live than it is on television. Because on television, they only show the pitcher and the batter. But if you're at the game, you know, if you know baseball, if the right fielder's out of position. Other people don't know that.
Great
you know,
point,
you
great
know
point.
if someone's warming up in the bullpen. So you I look at it from 3 aspects. I look at it from a player's point of view, or if I was managing the team, what I would do. And most guys that know baseball, they secretly they want to be a manager. Or I have a umpiring background. So I know when the umpire is out of position. I know if he made a bad call, it's probably because he didn't see it. He was out of position. So I come from 3 different ways. And plus, I love hot dogs. They're at the ballpark, you know. It's just,
me too.
as you can see, you know,
Yeah, no, I don't blame you.
I got a huge diet, and most of it's at the ballpark.
It's good. Yeah, don't forget the peanuts.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's just something about baseball that people obviously fall in love with. America's game, and it's fantastic. There are great ballparks around the country. Unfortunately, a place like Ebbets Field, so iconic, gone. But hey, that happens, you know. But it will be reproduced, I promise you. I don't want to give away too much stuff about the movie, what they're going to do, but it's going to be absolutely incredible. And, you know, I think of it as such a simple theme, good against evil in America's sport. Why didn't somebody think about this before, Richard?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I always wondered that too, because honestly, I thought to myself, why didn't God give the idea to Stephen King or to somebody
Yeah.
else? Because and it's interesting, in the history of show business, there's never been a sporting event pitting God against Satan. So I've already started writing the sequel to this first story because
Wow.
it's been so well received. And it's amazing to get the phone calls and emails and text messages from people I've never met before that just call me or whatever and say, you know, the ending of your book, I don't know anything about baseball, but the ending of your book makes me feel so good that they just saw some of them that after they've read the whole book, they just go back and read the last 5 or 6 pages.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to spoil it for anybody,
Yeah,
but
right.
it's amazing that, you know, and I haven't really done much to promote the book at all. It just kind of happened, even with the 50,000 Instagram followers. Like, I don't know where they came from. I don't have 50,000 people that I know, or I said, go and put a like up there for
Yeah.
Old Timers Day,
Yeah.
you know? So it's kind of miraculous, really.
Well, I think you're going to get a heck of a lot more after
Let's hope so.
this
That'd be
thing
great.
comes out. There is no doubt about it. And I got a text from somebody, and it's a good question. They're ask these guys how they are going to promote the movie.
Okay, that's a great question. We're going to promote the movie, first of all, with the publicity and casting tour. And we're going to be on the road for at least 30 days doing that. And then we're going to contact the cities ahead of time and advertise the casting tour will be coming to your town to let ESPN Radio and Fox Sports and all that know that we're going to be there shooting lookalikes for the movie. So that's going to be a big thing. We're also, for faith-based movies, we're going to barnstorm the country. It's called the Storm the Barn Baseball Prayer Tour of North America. And that's going to really bring a lot of buzz to the project because we're going to live stream it on Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, and all the social media platforms. So we expect to get a lot of coverage from that too, because
So it's kind of a documentary pre-movie.
that's correct.
Yeah.
We're going to, yes, it's called The Making of Old Timers Day.
That's phenomenal.
Thank you very much.
So you are, excuse the expression, covering all the bases.
Yes.
That's right. That's correct. Yes, that's true.
Well,
We're trying to.
Another great thing about baseball is when you're at bat, nobody can help you.
No.
Like if you miss your block in football and the running back runs around the tackle and still makes a touchdown, the team celebrates. But you're the only guy in baseball. Right. It's you against the other guy.
It's the same thing in golf.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's you against the course, brother. It's all on you.
Right.
Play good, play bad, whatever.
You can't blame anybody else.
Yeah. No. Oh my goodness.
And like golf, baseball, you can be any shape, size, age. Where other sports, if you're not 7 feet tall, you're not 400 pounds, you can't play the sport. You know, baseball, and it's really an international game now with the Japanese players, all the Latin American players.
Oh yeah.
You go down to Puerto Rico and see how big baseball is, or the Dominican. These pro players actually have to go back and play winter ball because that supports their economy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they don't really have an off season. The good ones.
Talk about Puerto Rico, the Dominican. How many great players have come from there?
Wow. Well, the hero of the book and the movie is a gentleman named Roberto Clemente, and his airplane went down on New Year's Eve, 1971, while he was bringing aid in an airplane to Nicaragua, because the bandidos were stealing all the supplies that he sent with his own money. So he had to get on the plane himself, and everybody tried to talk him out of it.
Wow.
But he decided to get on the plane, and he was never seen again, and they've never found the body. So he's a legend in the Latin American community and in the world at large. He's a legendary player.
Oh yeah.
And he's the star of the whole thing.
That is incredible.
You know, and the unfortunate thing is, or fortunate is, he got his 3,000th hit on his last game before this happened. You know.
Yeah.
He was also the only one to ever be voted in the Hall of Fame before the 5-year limit. They voted him into the Hall of Fame almost instantaneously after that occurred. So he got in, obviously, without the waiting period.
Now, before I got to ask you this, and you guys both jump in before we take our next break. When you go find people that you're looking to cast, what are you looking for? What do you expect them to be able to do?
Okay.
What should they be able to do?
Well, actually, the main thing is they have to look like the player. They're not going to have any lines in the movie, most of them. So out of the 100 or so ball players, we're only going to have maybe 5 or 6 speaking roles. So the main thing is that they look like the player. We're going to be able to use CGI to duplicate some of the plays, but I would like to have some college baseball players and maybe even high school players get involved to play some of the players if we're fortunate enough to get the opportunity to do that. Even some minor league players, if they're allowed to be in a motion picture, you know, and play some of the ball players. So it'd be nice if they could do some of the stunts and actually look like the ball player. That's the most important thing.
Well, we all know every athlete wants to be an actor, and every actor wants to be an athlete.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's kind of a natural thing. They'll come to us. We won't have to look for them.
So you're not going to go out and say, "Hey, Jimmy, slide into second base and let me see how you do," right?
No.
Don't hurt yourself.
Don't hurt yourself. Don't pull a muscle. Don't pull a muscle.
Oh my God. Speaking of that, I was at a seafood disco the other night and I pulled a muscle.
Wow.
Oh, boy,
Seafood disco.
that took a little time. Oh, my goodness.
That's a good
Oh,
one.
boy.
I like that.
All right, with that, we're going to step away and take a short break. And we come back, we're going to finish up with more of Old Timers Day. Back right after this. Don't move. One of the perks about being in golf media is that I get to try every club ever made. Of course, like most things, some are better than others. I'm here to tell you that I have found unquestionably the absolute best performing set of irons I have ever played, and my scores show it. Let me introduce you to Grindworks, custom fitted irons that are made to fit your game. Grindworks offers players 3 different styles of irons. You can choose muscle back irons, cavity back irons, and even blades, along with some awesome wedges. And when you purchase your clubs, Grindworks lets you choose the type of shaft you want, the type grip you prefer, and even will adjust the loft and lie of your clubs if needed. That's unheard of. So what are you waiting for? Feel the power and experience and performance of these amazing clubs. Simply go to grindworksusa.com or call 281-651-4046 to order. Trust me, your handicap will love you for it. The revolutionary Power to Golf Club requires no swing to hit golf shots from 50 up to 225 yards. That's right, no swing. It's empowering golfers with physical issues to continue enjoying time golfing with friends and family. With just the push of a button, the easy-to-use Power to Golf Club launches shots down the fairway and onto the green. Whether a physical issue or just want to join in on the fun, the Power to Golf Club is for you. Visit online, powergolfclub.com. All right, jumped the gun there a little bit. Welcome back, everybody. We're kind of wrapping up this edition of the show, and we're talking about Old Timers Day, the book, and the movie that is soon going to be in production. And I can't wait. It's going to be absolutely sensational. We are with the author, Richard Lepresto, right here to my right, who is the co-author of the book, and Jimmy V wrote the screenplay for this movie. How long do you think the movie will take to complete once it gets going?
Well, I worked in Hollywood for about 5 years, and usually the movies take about 6 to 8 months to film,
Wow.
depending on how much you use CGI and how much you produce and stuff like
Yeah.
that, you know, because there's scheduling that really basically handles all of that.
Yeah.
So I would say 6 to 8 months.
And you got things that come up that happen at the last minute. You got to go back and do this and that and the other. And I would imagine, obviously, in any production, not only is the content important, but the production, the editing, and all of that. You got somebody that is going to do that for you?
Post-production, the best person I ever met in my life at post-production was Jerry Schaefer. And I got to see him work his magic. He was just like a savant at a post-production. And he used to always tell me when we went in, because back then you went into a post-production bay, and he used to say, the movie is made in post, he would say, in post. And he would go in that,
True.
and his beautiful wife, Marianne Mark Schaefer, would say, she'd always let me know, Jerry needs to be alone now in post. I said, okay. I said, I'll just watch from out there and let him do it, and let him do his magic. But he was the best I've ever seen. I don't have a post-production manager at this time, but I do know this, that it will just come upon us. The right person will show up to do it. I'd like to use the set design people from 42, the movie about Jackie Robinson. One of my close friends in Hollywood said if they're not busy, Richard, they said they do it because they've done Ebbets Field before.
Oh, they have.
So
That's awesome.
in the movie 42, yeah. So if God wants them to be our post production and our set design people, it'll be them because they're fantastic. It'll be them.
Okay.
What's interesting, I do want to say about the motion picture, just one brief thing. It's very important that this movie is going to have constant advertising for sponsors on the outfield walls, and we're going to roll them. And we're also going to shoot a commercial for a sponsor in the movie. So the product development, the product is going to be huge for this motion picture. So we're talking to like Ballpark Franks, all kinds of companies to be a beverage company for the movie. So we think that the sponsor involvement is limitless for this motion picture, because you're going to be looking at the outfield wall, that Ebbets Field, for a lot of it. So, and also the announcers are going to be iconic guys like Vin Scully, and you've got a wonderful voice, so you never know what could happen down the road.
Vin Scully and Jerry Doggett, maybe.
Looks like Scully.
Takes me back to when I lived in L.A. Somebody said about Vin Scully, he was so good, he could open up a phone book and just read the name and numbers and make it sound interesting.
That's funny.
It's
true.
Yeah,
it's
and
true.
I thought that was very apropos to that. All right, the big question is, Jimmy V, who's going to play Satan? I've got a lot of friends that you could talk to.
Well,
that might fill the bill.
The person we were looking for is someone that can really get into the role with the sarcasm that goes on in society today. So, I don't know if you saw the movie Nefarious.
No, I did not.
Sean Patrick Flannery played the devil in that movie, and he did a wonderful job. And I even got to contact him on Facebook and, talk a few little bit about it and see if he was interested. So he's one of our guys that we would love to have. We also spoke about Joe Pesci too, playing, and he would, be perfect for the role.
Oh my gosh, that would be.
But there is no foul language in the book or in the movie, so whoever we get is not going to be able to curse. It's going to have to be someone that can look mad and angry and scare people, and without foul language.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that Satan takes more than one form during the movie, and in the book. So the actor, we're probably going to maybe need more than one actor to play Satan, because Satan can change his forms. And while the movie has no profanity in it, it was purposely written that way, and so was the book. It's interesting to know that it's quite intense. And the screenplay, even though there's no profanity, it is quite intense. There's injuries on the field to players that are pretty cataclysmic, if that's the right word. So the movie is going to be very intense, but there will be no profanity in it, because I want grandmothers and moms to not have to worry if their son wants to go see Old Timers Day. They can be 7 years old and go see it.
And the kids are going to be all over this, that play baseball, that are in Little League, that love going to the ballpark. Absolutely. So, so that's very good. They won't have to worry about it.
That's right.
Yeah.
You mentioned kids. We really wanted to end this tour at the Little League World Series. We thought that would be perfect, because God and the devil take the form of a 12, 13-year-old boy in the movie, in the book, and it would be like perfect for auditions for these kids that actually participate in the Little League World Series to audition for the roles in a major motion picture. So
that is you've got such a potential for such a vast audience for this, to appeal to so many people on so many levels, that it's going to be great. Remember Amazon, Old Timers Day. Look it up, get it. I'm telling you, it's a great book. Just started reading it. I'm about a third of the way through. It's an easy read. The print's kind of big, thank goodness.
Amen. As I get older,
yeah, exactly.
That's a good thing.
That's good that God told you that. Squint. Exactly. All right, let's step away, take our last break. We'll come back. We'll finish up the show. And stay with us. We've got our golf minute included in this. So we'll be right back. Hi, I'm Dennis Silvers, host of the 19th Hole Podcast for Golfers, and I'm here to tell you about some great wedges and putters from Grindworks USA. First, the Grindworks Barrett Collection Wedge Set. These wedges are unparalleled in today's market. The wedges come to you in 3 different lofts, 51, 57, and 61 degrees, all designed to be able to spin around the greens with the ability to hit high, middle, or low shots around the greens. Grindworks also makes a line of their Windsor Wells precision machine putters. This beautiful design of putter was not only created to be appealing to the eye, but to perform better on the greens. You will gain a ton of confidence to help lower your scores. Go to grindworksusa.com or call 281-651-4046. I promise your scores will love you for it. I'm Dennis Silvers for 8 News Now, here with another golf tip. I'm with longtime PGA teaching professional Paul Wilson out of Bears Best Golf Course. Paul, everybody who plays golf, even the professionals, hit fat shots. What causes that,
sure do.
and how can we stop doing it?
So fat shots are the easiest shots in the world to fix. So the average person, when they go to hit the golf ball, they're up here, they're looking at an object, they just pull the club down, and that traps them with the weight on the back foot. So all we have to do is get the weight off of our back foot as we're coming through impact. All you gotta say to yourself is feel the heel, right here, feel your heel. So you do a few practice swings like this, but as you're coming through impact, feel your heel lift a little bit. Okay, so you do that 2 or 3 times, like that. If the heel is lifting, your weight is shifting. Then of course you apply it to your shot and you'll eliminate the fat shots instantly.
Great tip. You want more? PaulWilsonGolf.com. For the Golf Minute, I'm Dennis Silvers, and we're going to see you back next time. So long, everybody.
I love
I played golf with Pat Kelly down in Tampa.
That's
I guess
good.
that was like
I guess we are back. Welcome back, everybody. We've got a couple minutes left for the show. We've been having a great show talking baseball and not golf, and it's been absolutely delightful. And I can't wait for this movie to be done, because it's going to be a slam dunk. When the production is done, got another text from a viewer. What are you guys going to do about distribution?
Okay, we don't have a distributor yet for the motion picture, so we know that when the time is right, we're going to find somebody to be our distributor for sure. There's a really good chance that we may make the movie outside of Hollywood because of the costs of filming and all this stuff, fees over there.
Right.
So there's a really good chance. I personally would like to film the movie either here at the Aviator Stadium in Las Vegas, or
Really?
or there's a stadium in Puerto Rico that I'd like to do our first press conference at. It's called Roberto Clemente Stadium in
There
Puerto
you
Rico,
go.
and we'll save 40% on the budget. Jimmy came up with a great idea to go to Puerto Rico to do it. So if we can use Roberto Clemente Stadium, I'd like to make the island part of the project, because he was such almost like a demigod there,
And
that
I'm
I'd
sure
like to
they
make
would
him part.
love it.
Oh, it'd be great. And also the jobs we can create there
Oh.
would be fantastic for the
No
island,
doubt.
because they've been suffering ever since the hurricane that they
Right.
had there. So it would be a blessing if we could do that.
No doubt, and I'm sure that the Las Vegas Aviators, that organization, and Don Logan, who is their president, who's a wonderful guy, would love something like that. or a part of it, or
We'd love to have
something.
him involved. He's a legend. I met him many times
Yeah.
at Cashman Field years ago.
Yeah,
Because I
when he
came
was
to
with the
town in
Stars.
'81, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'd see him all over the stadium. He's such a
That's
wonderful
fantastic.
man.
Yeah.
Wonderful man. I have nothing
That is
but plaudits for him.
Yeah, yeah.
We could
Anyway,
have a day there
this
with
is-
the auditions
This
and
has been
interviews.
bad. And he probably would know some people that look like this guy and that guy or whatever.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for coming on and
thank
sharing
you.
this information. I want to thank Dave, Jimmy V, Richard for coming on the show.
Thank you
I
so
can't wait
much.
till this thing gets done. So anyway, that's going to wrap it up for Old Timers Day, aka the 19th Hole Podcast for golfers. I've been your host, Dennis Silvers, thanking these guys. And watch out for when this thing comes out. It's going to be great. Anyway, wishing you nothing but fairways and greens. Keep it in the short stuff. We will see you back next week, same time, same place. Until then, so long, everybody.